Hi, everyone, and welcome to Life Strategies with Nat. Starting a bit late today because I have a special guest speaker. But first of all, how are you all doing? It's been quite a week. I don't know if you guys have been noticing, but we actually, Suzanne and I were collaborating together on our book on the secret diaries of a female entrepreneur, and we became bestsellers, and I am just completely so excited. It's just amazing. And my family was here and we were celebrating, we were doing karaoke, and I know everyone wanted to get some live footage. But I will have to make that note for next time because we did not, well, I shouldn't say that. We definitely got footage, but I don't know what to say about that. I'm just going to say that, and if you guys are wondering why I'm like a bit distracted, I'm just trying to get Suzanne on here, who is my guest speaker. I'm so excited. I don't know if you guys saw my post yesterday. I actually didn't share it on my personal page, but I should. I will tomorrow, perhaps. But and excuse the background, guys, because it has been one of those weeks where everyone's here and like the fam's visiting. It's been so fun, but like everyone's all in different places. So I'm hanging out in my bedroom. But yeah, so yesterday I was telling everyone about how I went to an all girls school growing up, and I saw a lot. I thankfully didn't go through it myself. I mean, I did go through some things, but I did see my share of anorexia and binge eating problems. And I think, even as young, sorry, my hand's like in the way because I'm just trying to get Suzanne on here. But I think as, we grow up, as women especially, we just develop these really, I don't know, just self-doubt, just lack of confidence about our body image in particular. And there she is. Hey, Suzanne.
Hey,
I was just telling
how you
everyone
doing?
my story. I'm great. How are you?
Good. So good to be here. So good.
Yeah,
Ah.
so excited to have you because I was just telling everyone, like as you're growing up,
Mm.
as women in particular, we tend to develop these, you know, I don't like negative thoughts about how we
Yeah.
look, we should be thinner, we should be whatever, and
Mm.
and then that, impacts our stuff. But anyway, so here is Suzanne Marshall, everyone. She is our body image transformation coach, and I'm so excited that she's here with us. I guess I was telling everyone too, Suzanne, because I'm going to give you like a high five virtually, that we became
Yeah.
best-selling authors.
Woohoo.
So it's always great to celebrate,
Yeah.
guys. Celebrate
Yeah.
your wins.
Mm.
But on to the topic
Mm-hmm.
of this. So, Suzanne, I think it would be great for
Yeah.
everyone if you could tell us a little bit about how you even got into this. How did you get into being a body image transformation coach?
Well, okay. Well, I just tuned in, so I didn't catch everything that you
Oh,
were talking
okay.
about, but I did pick up that you were talking about how you'd had an eating disorder.
That wasn't me,
Ah,
but it was because I went to an all girls school
right.
and,
Yeah. Yeah.
growing up, and so I definitely saw my fair share of
Mm.
friends, and some of them, I'm not going to go into detail, but like it can be so devastating when you have such a
Mm.
negative image of
Mm.
yourself and you're trying to make something happen. You're trying to be success. Like as women in
Mm.
particular, I think we have so much pressure, and then you add
Mm.
on like, oh, you should be a certain size or a certain shape, and
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
hormones.
Exactly. It doesn't go in our favor, does it? I mean, the reason I got to this position, Natalia, is because like lots of girls, I spent the most, in fact, I'd say three-quarters of my adult life just not feeling good enough, just always hating what I saw in the mirror most days, every day, actually. And it started when I was about nine or 10. I started to really notice that my body was different to other girls, because before that age, I mean, I think it's even younger now that girls are noticing, but before that age I didn't really have I didn't pay any attention to my body. I was who I was, and that was that. But then I got I got a bit of bullying at school, and that really kind of made me sit up and think, wow, I need to do something. Because I correlated having a different body to being to experiencing pain through the bullying. So
Mm.
it started right from that point where I really started to dislike my body and wanted to change it. I started my first diet when I was about 11, because my mum wouldn't let me start sooner. I would have done, and some girls go straight into kind of, doing things in secret, but I didn't do that. So I'm really blessed that that didn't happen to me. But I went from the age of 11 on, a succession, they call it yo-yo dieting, a succession of diets, because I never was happy with how I looked. Even when I lost weight, even when I lost substantial amounts of weight, I wasn't happy. And that really shocked me and made me sort of wonder, well, I thought I'd be happy if I was thinner. I thought I'd be happy if I was, the size that society makes you believe you should be. But I wasn't. So then I started to really dig deep and delve into kind of the the psychology behind that. What was it that I needed to do to feel good about myself and my body, as it is. So fast forward a few years, and a lot of work, a lot of mindset work, a lot of kind of self-love, and really just having lots of challenges thrown my way, situations that I wasn't happy to be in with the way that I looked. And I just thought, I need to help other women to break through these horrible blocks that surround them and get to a point where they just walk out in the morning and absolutely love who they are and what they look like, no matter how they look, without going under the knife, without going on a diet, without changing anything about themselves. And that's what I really wanted to do, because I went through a period of depression because of how I felt about my body. And it was really intense and it hurt. It was really a horrible time, a horrible
Yeah.
place to be. And I just thought, right, this is what I'm passionate about. This is what I need to do to, this is how I've healed myself. Now let me help other women to do the same.
Oh my gosh, that's really. I was like, "Don't cry, Nat. Don't cry."
No,
No,
but
because
it's emotional, because
it is
took a
emotional.
long time, about 30 years it took me to
Yeah.
work through it. And I'm not going to lie, I'm not 100% there yet. I have days where I think, oh, but then I know how to quickly recover from that
Yeah. And
and get back.
I think that's the most important
Mm,
thing that you can have, is that ability to sort of just snap yourself out of it, because we're all not perfect. We definitely fall into those traps. I know I do
mm.
sometimes, where I'm like, and it's it's
Yeah, we all
amazing
do.
that you used your it's amazing that you use that experience to turn around and want to help
Mm.
other women
Yeah,
to really
yeah.
like just get in it, because
Mm.
once you have that, then you become unstoppable, don't you?
You do, you do.
You
And the
feel
thing
it.
that, yeah, because it's such a passion for me, and it feels like, I know this sounds really kind of cheesy or corny, but it feels like it's my life's purpose. But it really does, because I like to think that I went through all that for a really good reason. And for me, there's no better reason than to, help other people, and also to set the most amazing example for my two little girls, because I would hate for them to go through what I went through. And if I can just instill in them some of the confidence that it's taken me 30 years to develop, so if they can have some of that right now in their young years of what are they, 7 and 10, then that's great. And hopefully that will help them through life with all of the images that they're presented with daily in media and so on and so forth. So
Oh, it's
you
gonna
know
it's gonna make a huge difference. You're making
yeah,
a huge difference.
yeah, I hope
And
so. Mm.
yeah, you are definitely. And
Yeah.
I guess what we wanted to talk about
Mm.
was, you know, because I know that you've spent so much time working through this, and now
Mm.
you're helping other women. And I'm just
Mm.
curious, what are those 5 techniques, those 5 tips? How do you how can we all sort of snap out
Yeah,
of it when we
yeah.
get into that state of mind?
Well, you know, there are so many things that you can do, okay? And it's not going to be, you know, just do these 5 things one time and you're going to be cured, because I wish it was that simple, but it really isn't. But these 5 things will really, if you do these things on a daily basis, regularly and consistently, you'll see a difference in how you feel. There's a huge, you know, resource of materials that you can access that will help you with this stuff, particularly, you know, mindset techniques that I've not developed, but I've put into a course that I do offer free, out freely sometimes. But for the first, just to get you started, these 5 tips are the things that I do as often as I can. The first one that I would say is, number one, stop comparing yourself to everybody else, because we are all different. If we were supposed to look the same, then God would have made us to all look the same, or whoever you believe made us. You know, we're not put on this earth to be exact replicas of each other. We are all made differently. And, you know, the media have come up with this over the years. It's not a recent thing. They've come up with a particular image of the way that they feel that women in society should look, which falls into a perfect body category. And it really is, it's just a marketing ploy. So I'm sure lots of the followers, your followers, Natalia, will know that anyway. But it's really hard to kind of snap out of that. If you see a beautiful actress on the TV, you think, oh, you know, like Jennifer Aniston for me. I wish, you know, I used to think, oh,
My
I'd
idol.
love to swap with her. She's just perfect hair, perfect body, perfect everything. But you know, you can't compare yourself to others, because we are all so different, and we're supposed to be different. And you know, just because somebody has the figure that you feel is right, or the look, doesn't mean they're happy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you know,
True.
they've got, often they have their own issues. Okay, so just
Mm-hmm.
stop that right now today. Try, when, I know it's easier said than done, so next time, be aware, be mindful of when you catch yourself looking at an image of a woman that you feel looks better, or even at a party, you know, you're at a party and you're looking around and you're thinking everyone looks great and you don't. But just stop yourself and think about the things that you feel good about that day,
Mm-hmm.
about yourself, and bring the focus back to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, you know, that's just such a really basic thing, but it's key, because you have to be mindful, because sometimes your subconscious is just automatically comparing, and you have to practice at sort of catching it out, you know, and bringing yourself
Mm-hmm.
back to you and who you are and what's good about you. So
Yeah,
that's my first tip.
I love it. And Joanne is saying it's so important for men and women to realize, and
Oh, absolutely.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, it's not just
Um,
women,
no.
absolutely. I specialize in helping women, Joanne, because I'm a woman and I know how women tick. But I would never turn a man away if they wanted my help. Absolutely not. But and if men can take value from what I say, then great. That makes me over the moon.
Mm-hmm.
So then the second tip I would say is, you know, treat your body how you would treat your children or someone really close to you. How do you show your body that it's really special to you and important, and that you care about it? Because whilst I do say, and that if you've seen any of the things that I kind of content that I put out there, I'm always saying how I really disagree with diets. I don't think diets are the way to, you know, for anyone to go to get healthy, because whilst they do help you to lose weight, you know, we don't learn very much. It's not very educational. All we learn about is how many calories is in a certain food type. We don't learn about the nutrition necessarily. And for me, my experience, diets have never worked, because I've always regained the weight. But for but that side, what I'm saying is, don't just plow loads of crap into your body, because that doesn't demonstrate to your body that you're worth it, and that you are, you know, that you're a special person. So you've got to send the right messages to your mindset about your body by treating it well with food, with the nutrition. So, you know, don't restrict anything, enjoy everything that you like, but in, you know, there's a balance that you need to put good stuff in to feel good on the outside. And that's a lot. That is a very hard lesson that I've learned, because when I was going through my rebellious I'm not going to diet stage, I saw that as an invitation to just eat tubs of ice cream and chips, whatever I wanted. And it didn't, I found, which is obvious to most people, that it just made me feel sluggish and unworthy, because that food doesn't make you function properly, just cuts your energy, cuts your motivation, cuts your mojo, and then you're back to square one, feeling horrible about yourself, that you're not worth it, and so on. So
Mm-hmm.
that's number 2 tip
Can totally
that's
relate to
helped
that one.
me. Yeah, I know, because that's your thing. And I love
Yeah.
following your post, because it's like, yeah, I need to do that today. Natalia's right.
Thank
I'm gonna do that. Like with the, oh, you posted something of some drops, like supplements, was it the other day on your
Oh,
page today?
the grapefruit.
That's it. Yeah, a little
Love
flake.
the grapefruit.
Grapefruit's good. So yeah, put good stuff in to feel good on the outside.
Yeah.
And then number 3 tip is, don't get caught up in conversation. And what I mean by that is, well, give you a scenario. You might have gone out for coffee with friends, and, you know, more often than not, the subject comes around to how you look, how you feel about yourself. And you might
Mm.
say, your friend might say, oh, my hair's rubbish today. I feel really, I feel like I just don't feel good. I feel like a tramp or something like that. You know, it's being really extreme. Or they might say,
Yeah.
oh, I've eaten this piece of cake. Oh, that's terrible. I've fallen off the wagon. I'm just
Mm.
rubbish. I can't do anything. I can't stick to anything. So then as a friend, we think, oh, right, now I need to say something negative about myself to make my friend feel good. So you
Mm.
might say, yeah, don't worry about it. You should have seen what I ate for breakfast today, or you should have seen what I had last night, or you should have seen my hair yesterday. So it's like you're having a competition with who can outdo each other in terms of the negative chatter. But it's a false fallacy. It's a fallacy, false fallacy. It's a fallacy because, you know, as we know, what we draw attention to, we bring more of. So the
Yeah.
more the negative comments you're making about yourself, even though you're trying to make your friend feel good, is not helping her at all, really, because it's promoting negative energy. So how about, rather than do that, we create a spiral of compliments instead.
Mm.
So, you know, and it might feel a bit uncomfortable at first, because if your friend has said, oh, I feel really fat today, you you might feel really, really uncomfortable saying, oh,
Mm.
you know, don't be silly. I actually feel really good today, because
Mm.
you might be thinking, oh, your friend doesn't want to hear that. But
Yeah.
you don't have to just feel boastful. You could say, oh, I actually feel really good today, and I think you look great. Your skin looks great. You know, you've got to
Mm.
boost each other,
Yeah.
not bring each other down. And that's, you know, when I first learned this technique, I thought, do you know, that's so obvious, so obvious. But I get involved. I'm the world's, I used to be, well, sometimes I still am, but I used to be the world's worst for that, you know, saying, oh no, don't worry about it, I'm rubbish too, you know. And it's such a simple thing to do, and it's fun as well. You know,
I
it's
think
good to hear.
that's you know, when you were talking about it, I was like, oh my God, I do that
Mm,
sometimes. And
mm.
you know, you're right. Like it does sound so obvious, but when you're saying it, I'm like, that's not as obvious as you
Yeah, as you
think it
think.
is.
Well, no, it's just natural. I don't know why we hit this default position of, let's just go into putting each other down or putting ourselves down. Why do we do that? We should be
Well,
bigging ourselves up, you know,
yeah, and I
because
don't know if we realize it either, like
mm,
you're saying. Sorry, I cut
uh,
you off because
no,
what?
no, you didn't. No, no, I wasn't going to say anything, but I just
Oh.
think people, yeah, we don't realize it. We don't. We go into a natural kind of default positions, like driving a car. You don't think about it. You're so used
Hmm.
to doing it, and that's the thing with all of these techniques. You have to do them regularly enough and consistently enough so that they become habits, and so that your natural default position is to complement each other, not to bring that negative chatter in.
I love that.
So that's it. So that's, I think that was 3. And
Hmm.
then number 4 is start noticing and stop avoiding. So that, what I'm talking about there is, if you're not feeling good about yourself, and you're used to not feeling good about yourself, you might be someone who avoids mirrors like the plague. You might not look, if you catch yourself in a reflection, you'll instantly move your head away so that you can't see what's on the other side. And that's a real shame, because what you're doing there is you are neglecting all the amazing parts of your body. Even though you feel that you've got nothing good to say about it, I can assure you that there are so many things that other people will be able to share with you about your body that they believe are fantastic. You might not believe them, but what I would like you to do is to start noticing those things. And if you struggle with that at first, ask the people closest to you, what they think about you, and it will feel uncomfortable. All of these things will at first, but it's just practice. So notice the things that you do like about yourself, and it could be your hair. I love my hair. Or it could be, you could love your stretch marks on your tummy from, which are scars to show the miracles that you created inside you of your beautiful babies, if you've got children, things like that. Your husband might say, oh, I do love your butt, it's great, but you're probably just brushing it off. But notice it. Why does he say that? Because he actually does believe it. So just trust him when he says that to you. So start looking in the mirror more often. I'd like you to do it every day. Stand in front of the mirror completely naked and notice every part of your body, all the good bits, and just focus on those, and just say to yourself, I love every bit of you. You're perfect. And this is all going to, like I keep saying, it will feel uncomfortable and a bit awkward at first, but you just got to persevere with it and carry on, because I know that you know this, Natalia, but your subconscious doesn't know what is real and what is not real. So the more you give positive messages to it about yourself, the more it's going to believe it. Because your emotion is going to get stronger with time, and it's going to sound really, really have loads of conviction. And then before you know it, you've got a completely different perspective on yourself.
I actually have to say that I remember you talking about this before. Yeah. And I actually did start doing it because...
Did you? How did it go?
It was really amazing. And, I have to admit, I didn't do it every day, but, I loved, the thing that stuck with me was, you want to look at yourself in the mirror, yes, naked, but you want to appreciate everything that you love. And, because so many of us have these, I don't like this. And like you were saying, I don't like that. But stop with that. What do you love? And it has made a huge difference in my mindset personally.
So I look at you, Natalia, honestly, and I can't see a single thing that you couldn't love about yourself. You're gorgeous. You love you. You're like a film star. For example, you are. I saw your pictures today, with your book and everything, and I was like, wow. She's she's on Broadway or something, from Broadway. So yeah, I just think we see ourselves so differently to everyone else.
That's true.
Look through the eyes of someone who loves you.
And it's so hard to take a compliment, isn't it? Sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I hope I didn't wreck your next tip, but it just sounded so relatable to this one, that because that's something else that I've been trying. I'm not good with taking compliments, because I'm this old thing. This shirt, I got this at Winners or whatever.
I know.
But is it TJ Maxx? Is the one in England? I can't remember.
TK
Or
Maxx.
TK Maxx. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, it's just it's all in our head, and I think
all in our heads. All you've got to do is
difference.
Someone gives you a compliment, and all you have to do is say thank you. That's it.
Yeah,
thank you. That's really kind of you. That's it. That's all you have to do. So the final tip I have for you today is to create a new mantra for yourself.
Oh, okay.
So for example, currently your mantra might be, I'm too fat. Or it might be, my nose is too big, or my boobs are too small, or I'm not good enough. Okay, so then the new mantra is going to be something relevant to you that you're going to say every day, and it needs to be almost like on a loop. So at
Mm-hmm.
first you might need to set yourself reminders to do it on your phone. You know, like for example, when you are taking a shower, you're going to say this over and over and over in your head, or if you're walking the dog, or if you're getting dressed, or any particular moment where you have time to be thinking. So when you're not super busy, I want you to find a mantra that feels good for you. Preferably something really powerful, like I love you, like I love you, Suzanne, I love you, Suzanne, I love you, Suzanne, that sort of thing. That one has
Mm-hmm.
worked wonders for me. Amazing. I mean, you wouldn't think it at first. At first you think, well, that's rubbish, it's not true, I don't believe it. But like I was saying before, it's just about repetition and teaching your brain new tricks, new habits, and before you know it, it will believe it. And then that's really just the basic. There's so many other things you can do, but those things are going to really make a difference. They did
Those
for me.
were those were amazing. Those were amazing.
Thank
I
you.
could literally be like, "Can you keep
Yeah.
going?" But
I
for
have got
anyone,
notes.
I know you do.
Yeah.
So I guess, where if anyone's watching, well, I know that there's lots watching,
Mm.
but how can anyone that's catching you now or on the
Mm.
replay, how can they, get in touch with you or
Yeah. Okay. Well, I have got a private Facebook group, which is
okay.
for women that struggle with their body image in particular and want to gain more body confidence. And there's a whole network of girls in there, and men. There are some men as well, I
Hmm.
think. Well, there were, maybe they've left now, I don't know, but it's it's just a really safe community for us all to support each other. And I do put lots of free value in there, like you do, Natalia. And I'm doing live trainings in there as often as I can. So
Hmm.
that's called Women Who Rock in the Skin They're In. Is that
Wicked.
okay? Is that okay to share that? Because
Of course. Yeah, I
also,
definitely want you to put it in the comments just in
okay,
case. And
yeah, I will do
I hope
that.
I'm not being cheeky, but I know you
Mm,
said you had like a freebie that you sometimes
yeah,
give. Like
I
that would be great
do.
if you
I
could put that in
do.
the
Of
comments.
course.
If you're
Yeah,
okay
I'd
with
love to.
that.
I'd love to. It's
Okay.
actually an extension of all the things that I've talked about today. So
Amazing.
there's other newer things in there as well. So yeah, it's all good. And hopefully, this will be, you and I and others like us can create a bit of a movement and give women back their confidence. God damn
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, I hear you on that because like I mean, everyone needs to be confident, but women in particular, we are,
Yeah,
we
you're under a
we're
lot of
really hard on
pressure.
ourselves sometimes. But
We put a
I
lot of
think
pressure on ourselves. Yeah.
yeah, and I think it's important for men to do that too.
Yeah. Hmm.
Because well, that's a whole other topic there, but I
Definitely.
want to thank you so much for coming on and sharing your top tips and just
Oh, I've
bringing your
loved it.
lovely
Yeah.
self. It's just been awesome.
Yeah,
I
I've
definitely
really
have to have
enjoyed
you
it.
back. Hey,
Yeah, I'd love
Tracy.
to. Oh, hi. I can't see who's coming on, so I take your word
Oh,
for it.
I've been doing, yeah, Tracy's on, Shianti, Fabienne, Joe, Amanda, Joanne. Oh,
Oh,
we've
yeah.
got
Mary.
lots of, yeah,
Oh.
Mary. Hey,
Hi,
everybody.
everyone.
I'm so
So,
glad
oh,
that you guys
hi,
were able to tune.
Jazz. My lovely friend Jazz has just popped on as well, so that's
Oh,
good.
fun.
Oh, so
That's,
yeah,
I didn't, yeah. So thank you, Suzanne. It's been so lovely. Definitely
my
pop
absolute pleasure.
in the links below so that people can follow you because I know this information for me.
Mm,
Even though I've watched you before, actually, I'm like, oh, that's new. I didn't catch that one. So that's
mm,
great. So I really
mm.
appreciate it. And thanks everyone for tuning in and
Yeah.
for supporting us on our book as well.
Yeah,
Um,
that's been amazing,
it's
honestly. I was on
it
such a high
has.
on Friday. It was the best day.
It really has. And
Yeah.
Tracy, she's the one that actually helped us publish it. So thank you, Tracy. Mwah.
Yeah, amazing,
And
amazing.
I'm just so excited for everyone that's listening. And with that, we're just gonna say good night,
Good night, everybody.
farewell.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Natalia.
No
Take
problem. Have
care.
an
Bye
awesome
bye.
day, everybody. Bye.